Hey guys, Delt here. As I've been playing Deadlock more, I'm getting better at the game, and I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned through playing. So first off, we're on Viscous, and we're laning with Bebop against Seven and Haze. It's important to know who you're with and against in lane, because in this particular matchup, we have a really strong early game against two people who scale to win later on. This means that during this laning phase, I'm wanting to punish the enemies as much as I can. So my main goals here are 1, to secure farm, 2, deny farm because we don't want them to scale, and 3, poke at the enemies with my abilities. Viscous has really strong poke in the early game with his 1 and his 3, and after we get our 2 or our cube, we can actually punish the enemies for getting low by diving the turret. I would recommend that if you're playing against other strong laners like Bebop, Abrams, or Warden who can kind of just heal throughout your poke damage, to kind of just chill out a bit and focus on your farm and denying farm, because getting yourself stronger is always the main priority. But specifically in a lane like this where we're against two late game scalers, we want to punish them as hard as we can, and we really need to focus on doing that without putting ourselves out of position, because again, if we get killed, they're scaling. So as I was poking at the 7 there, I took a ton of damage, so I'm gonna back up and grab melee lifesteal. I can use this to secure mobs and heal up, which is really great to have because Viscous's gun kind of sucks early game. And as we were securing farm, Bebop got a little bit too aggressive and ends up getting taken down. It's fine. We're just going to back up and make sure that we can keep getting ourselves strong until he gets back, because I'm relatively low too, and I don't want to feed 2 kills to this lane. That would be absolutely awful if we just kept dying for no reason. So again, while we're 1v2 in lane, we're just trying to focus on getting a tiny bit of poke damage if we can, but mostly just securing souls, both ours and the enemies. And at this point in the game, I'm still even with both Seven and Haze in farm. So even though they've gotten a kill, me and Bebop are still slightly ahead of them, which is great. And remember when I said that Viscous's gun sucks early game? That's because the travel time of the bullets is just really slow, so picking up high velocity mags really helps us to land more hits, while also giving us the ability to secure souls a tiny bit easier. I honestly pushed up here thinking that both of the other characters, Haze and Seven, had left, and I was just going to melee the minions, but then I realized that they were still here, so I backed up, was able to get behind a wall for the sleep dagger, and since they're still here, they're both really low, I'm just going to try to go for a little flanker on the side and see if we can secure a kill. The reason I wasn't scared about taking damage here is if I feel like I'm gonna die, I could cube, or in this case, I just wanted to back up and heal a tiny bit, so I'm gonna do that with my cube. So we go in again and try to get the punch, but he backed up, so we missed. That's completely fine. We're still good. And sadly, even though I was trying to create a ton of pressure here, Bebop still died. It's fine, it happens. And Haze is trying really hard to push me here. Since I have melee lifesteal, I should win the trade as long as I get a melee hit in, so that's all I'm looking for. If she was expecting that and she parried, I would have been screwed. Luckily, I was able to get behind a wall and just fake that I was trying to get away. All right, so now we're picking up Spirit Strike and Healing Right. Spirit Strike increases the damage of all of our melees. It also increases the damage of our Goo Punch or our 3 ability. This is what makes Viscous's early game really strong. Sadly, in this game, I had to delay it a tiny bit to get the melee lifesteal first. I usually like getting this and then melee lifesteal, but I wasn't able to in this game. I also bought Healing Right because I don't want to have to leave lane. I had 150 health after the fight with Haze, and if I can just use Healing Right to keep myself topped off in between going in and pushing the enemies, then I'm going to be able to snowball this lane very easily, and that was my idea behind buying it here. Speaking of snowballing the lane, I wasn't expecting me staying to equal out to getting this much guardian damage in. Haze definitely should have been back way before that, but I mean, we'll take it, I guess. And now that they're back, I'm just going to try to punish them some, and then I'm going to rotate to the other lanes to get the other guardians down. The two easiest ways to get flex slots early on in the game are to push one of the walkers or to get all 4 guardians down. And in this case, playing as Viscous, being relatively strong, I think that my best opportunity is to go try to help the other lanes and get the other guardians. And here I was contemplating just running over to Pocket and helping Vindicta fight him immediately, but then I realized I have 2,000 souls on me and I should go buy and then do that. If you have 2,000 souls on you this early in the game, you're probably trolling. Go buy, turn those souls into damage, and it'll work out so much better. In this case, I wanted some mobility items for roaming too, and that's why I bought the way that I did. It's real quick. Dash jump into Puddle Punch can get you insane distance, and I don't think the Pocket was expecting me to fly over his head, but he did react relatively quickly, and that saves his life here. So we don't get behind on farm, since he was really low and is probably just backing at this point. I'm going to clear this camp out while Vindicta pushes the wave up, and then I'm going to hit the Guardian with her. So again, my main goal here is to just run to the other lanes, help my teammates out, get the guardians down. If I can get kills, that's absolutely perfect. If not, I'm at least relieving pressure for my teammates so they can start to get ahead now too. In a second, when I start shooting the Guardian again, I realize that Pocket turns around and starts to attack Vindicta. And since he's pinched here, I'm going to turn around and just try to do what I can to him. Sadly, Pocket as a character is really good at escaping. So I think I chased him a few times this game, and I think he's the only person that we don't actually kill. And right there, when he uses his suitcase and his ghost, he's basically out. I could push more. I probably do have a chance to kill him, but it's better in my interest right now to push these up and continue to get the Guardian down. He's probably just full backing and trying to heal because he's really low. And so now that the pressure of him being gone is also gone, it's easy enough just to get the objective. And that'll be better for us and the team as a whole in general. Vindicta's also now back and she's pushing the Guardian. And I'm realizing that Bebop is really struggling in the solo lane against these other two. So I'm going to run over and make sure that they don't take anything else. So we hit Haze with our Puddle Punch, but we get put to sleep. As soon as I am woken up, I'm immediately just going to push onto 7 and kill him, because he's not moving and he's in a very bad spot. After that, I'm going to chase Haze. Bebop comes back and he's full on her, and I just want to make sure that she doesn't get the escape. So I go a different way than Bebop does, and he actually just finishes the kill. And that's perfect. We're all done here. It's time for me to push out the wave some more, and then I'm going to go to a different lane. I noticed that this wave's not really getting pushed. I see Pocket. I'm just going to try to push this up, and Pocket actually tries to attack us. Not the best idea by him. We're really strong. So even though he chunks us a decent amount, we're just going to keep hitting him and force him to fully leave now. And now he's gone, so I'm going to finish this Guardian and probably move over to the green lane. I don't exactly remember what I do here, but I feel like that's what I would do in my head. Yeah, so over at green, I see 3 people. Shiv actually pushed over to their lane, and 2 of them are really low. So I'm just going to push over and see if we can secure any kills and keep pushing the Guardian, because that will be the last one. I do push up really hard here. I'm just trying to get as much damage onto them as I can, and my team's pretty far back. It's fine if they put a wall up. If Abrams pushes me, I can just cube and wait for the team. And now that the team's pushed up with us and I pulled their team out of their base, we get to go in again. And I'm choosing to punch the punch man. Civ's back, so we could just get this Guardian, but I also just like to apply as much pressure to the enemy team as I can. The more pressure I'm applying, the less they can do, and the more my team can do. So I'm just going to keep trying to hit him instead of the Guardian here. And we end up getting the kill. So now we're just gonna push back to the Guardian and kill that. We unlock our flex slot and all of the Guardians are taken down. We have 4,800 gold, so we're gonna go buy and then we'll figure out what to do after that. I end up buying improved burst, so we get more damage, and kinetic dash, which I don't really see a lot of Viscous's grab. I don't really care about gun upgrades too much, especially this early on, but I do like getting mobility. And so that's why it's something that I honestly pick up a decent amount, because I don't really think a lot of the weapon upgrades are the best for Viscous. His gun's kind of mid, and just from your 1, your 3, and your punches, you're having enough damage to kill people early game. So just having the extra mobility to get around the map, be where your team needs you to be, or maybe even get you out of bad situations seems more useful, at least in my opinion. And I decided to pick a fight with Pocket here, and he actually uses his ultimate on me, so I'm taking a ton of damage. It's not really the best, but I'm just trying to do what I can. If I need to back up and go clear blue, then that's what I'm gonna do. But I was just seeing if I could fight him first. And once again, we get him very low, and he ends up just doing his pocket thing and getting away. It's fine. We're gonna go back and start clearing now. Also, I haven't talked about my upgrades at all. I used to level my goo first. Instead, I've been leveling my punches, and then my goo, and then my ult. For this kind of playstyle, I feel like that's the best way to do it, because we just want to be strong early, and being able to get the extra range and extra damage on our punches is really good, and then getting the goo after just increases our damage even further. A lot of the times I only use our ultimate or a goo ball for mobility or for a single knockup, and then I cancel it anyway because I don't really feel like you're doing the most when you're in your ball unless you're in very specific locations. So I don't think that getting all of the upgrades for that are completely necessary. I do it before the cube, but that's just because the cube already does everything it needs to, in my opinion. All right, and there's a team fight going on here. I don't really know why, but I like to be around my team, especially when I'm strong whenever they start fighting, so that way I could just sort of help out. I'm trying to keep the Abrams and the menace away while our team is fighting Shiv, and that ends up working perfectly. And now that I know that the team's safe, I start to go all in. Whenever you start to feel a little bit uncomfortable about your health, just cube, healing up, and then keep going. Also, make sure that whenever you kill a walker or a guardian, if there are enemies around, you're shooting all the orbs, because you don't want the enemies to take those. That's your money. Take them. Use them well. And once again, Pocket gets away. Honestly, if I had a different fire rate weapon, I probably would kill there. But I still just think it's better to have the dashes in most situations. And I realized that 7 is literally pushing into our entire base and nobody's backed up for it. So I'm gonna go do it because somebody needs to. I let the team know so that way they can be a little bit safe if they need to. And we're gonna go kill 7. If you're ever getting stunned by 7, just press your cube and then you're good. And it looks like Yamato's going ahead to go push out purple, so I'm going to push out blue and then decide if I want to keep pushing that lane or go help my team. A good little advice point is to have your lanes at least push to mid. As long as they're there, you have time to react. If they get pushed in all the way, somebody could just show up in your base and it's really bad. So just keep your lanes at least pushed to mid. Look at your mini map, know what's going on at all times. And right now it looks like our team was able to back out and not get killed at all, which is completely perfect. I'm just going to keep camping and pushing this lane a tiny bit more. Just kidding. It looks like they're getting engaged on again, so I'm going to go help them out. But I don't want to be out of position, so as soon as I see Shiv here, I just hit him once and then try to regroup with my team on the Guardian. From there, we should be able to push out and do whatever we want. And just a quick look at their team is showing me that Pocket is the strongest that they have. And so I just want to keep him away and annoy him as much as possible so he's not doing things to my teammates, because I know that he can't kill me. And Shiv tries to go in on me here, so I goo ball to reduce the damage that I take, knock him up, and then we just kill him as a team. Just like the stairs, the little slamp in the road here is also a really great goo punch spot to keep menace from running away from us.
The deep will be silent no longer. I'll cover the battle.
And once again, whenever I see Pocket, I'm just going to do as much as I can to him and keep him from hurting my team at all, because he has the most farm and he's going to be doing the most damage. Eventually, Seven and Haze will be dangerous too, but as of right now, Pocket is the main problem. And right here, I'm expecting Abrams to ult me, but I'm just going to try to do as much damage as I can, because as soon as he does, I could just cube and get away. I'm on a slamp. It's going to be fine.
Good job.
And since I have 6,500 souls and I once again see Seven pushing into our base, I'm going to go deal with him, buy some things, and then come back for the team. And on my way back, I was deciding what to buy. I decided on getting improved reach, and I put that on my 3 or my puddle punch just to make it a little bit easier to hit. And I also took life strike, so I got more healing off of those as well as a slow on them. Sadly, Seven was able to get the shrine because no one reacted to it quicker, but it's fine. I'm able to take him down, and I'm going to clear this out, push it up, so that way we can react hopefully sooner if he tries it again.
Strangers would feel so good.
Actually, I did notice here that Haze is chasing Vindicta and she was really low. So even though it was already a 2v1 against the Haze, I actually went there to make sure that Vindicta doesn't die. Pushing out purple here would be very smart though. And since I know I'm very strong right now, I'm just going to start fighting people. It doesn't really matter as long as it's not like a 3v1. If I need to use goo ball or cube to get away, I should be fine. So we're able to take down the Shiv. More of our teammates are showing up now, so we're just going to keep pushing. Also, shout out to our Talon real quick, who's pushing out our purple lane. Heroes don't always wear capes. Right here was a slight mistake. I tried to apply pressure to Abrams and I got chunked for it. This also puts me in a really bad spot because they start to go on to Vindicta and I don't really have anything to try to help her. So hopefully she can get out by herself. If not, that kind of sucks. And luckily we were able to keep applying pressure. And when I got really low, I was able to back up into Yamato. And they didn't keep chasing because they were also low. Another kind of weird buy that I really like is with Viscous near like mid to late game. I like buying Health Nova. This helps me keep myself alive. It helps me keep my teammates alive. And we basically just turn into like a damaging support. Early game, you're the carry. Late game, you just want to keep your carries alive. And Dynamo's pushed up really far right here, trying to do his best. And I'm going to go try to help him out, make sure he doesn't die. Also, the shiv is absolutely crazy for staying. The goo ball bounce, dude.
There's more where that came from.
We health Nova for some healing, and then we keep pushing. And once again, while we're fighting, we just want to keep their high damage dealers pressured so they feel like they can't stay in the fight. And I also want to keep my carries alive. At this point, it's basically just Yamato, but Vindicta can still do decent amounts of damage here. I once again take way too much damage here, but it's okay. I'm just going to cube and heal on up. A couple seconds later, Hayes actually runs in and tries to ult me. I need to get out of this. I have nothing for it. I just need to get out as soon as I can. Luckily, I have both bullet and spirit armor, so I don't take the most damage from it. It's still a little scary though. And just like Shiv, Hayes is also an absolute mad lad and tries to finish me.
In a borrowed body, no one can stop me.
The amount of McGinnis ults here too is absolutely insane. That's what chunked me before the Hayes ult. I stood in the McGinnis ult. So here I decided I'm going to push up blue too, and we're going to have two different ways we can get in here instead of all just standing in the one entrance and feeling awkward.
It's harder than you'd think, doesn't it? Firing protoplasm. Attacking.
We got a couple kills, so now we're good to take on the shrines, and after that we could probably even take the first patron.
Let's push purple. Slow them down.
Hayes once again tries the ult, and I go to cube. Dynamo actually reacted to this amazingly and quantum entangled me out. My cube still went off, which was a little bit awkward, but good job, Dynamo, my dude.
How embarrassing for them. Punching strangers would feel so good.
They still have two people dead, and pretty much our entire team has a lead at this point. So this game should just be over. I want to just hit the patron, but once again, I'm basically a support at the end of the game, and I just want to keep my teammates alive first. This was really awkward, and I was about to hit Pocket out, so he wouldn't be able to get into his base, but Bebop pulled me, and yeah. Also, Seven decided he wanted to split push again, by the way. Don't do that. That's not the right call. Help your teammates, my guy. Alright, and that's the game. So basically with Viscous, early game we're strong. We're going to run to all the other lanes. We're going to be the initial carry. After that, we're just going to go into more of a support style and keep our teammates alive while still pushing the game. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope I can see y'all next time. Peace.